Hey, what's up? I'm Warbolt. I play BT Zerker, and we just got some changes. So, I've been maining this class for a while. I've been really looking forward to this. I watched a lot of testing that Saint Tone did. Saint 1, Saint Tone, whatever you want to call him. Um, when he was testing it when it initially came out, and I kind of learned what I wanted to do with the class. So, this is the build that I put together. It's probably the same as a lot of... I did browse through Loa and check kind of every other Zerker's build. And there's a lot of them that are built kind of weird. This is what makes the most sense to me. I want a smooth rotation into getting into form quickly, and I want to just be able to do damn, right? So, first of all, I'm going to engraving, so you're not looking at this going, what the fuck? This is just a sim yearning, and this is a sim mana increase that you get from supports. It doesn't do exactly give you 30% mana, but it makes it to where I don't run out of mana in the middle of my rotation. And that's what I want it to do. The rest are my normal engravings. BT, Curse, Doll, Grudge, Keen, Raid Captain. Like I said, Yearning Sim. And then gems. These are my normal gems. I do actually have a level 8 in here for damage on Tempest, but I'm not using it right now. I threw on a cooldown instead, just because I'm kind of testing some stuff out. And we'll go into tripods here. So most of the stuff is the same as what it was before. Red Dust are your typical Red Dust ones. Brave Slash, you want to use the burst enhancement, which makes it reset the cooldown when you use it to go into form. And you have quick prep here, and then I guess acrimony, it just does more damage. I haven't even tested this tripod. Tempest Slash, I use the focus instead of quick prep, which is iffy, right? Because this takes a lot of the cooldown off it, but for that smooth 5 skill rotation to get into form, I have to use focus here. And I use it here too. But I only use level 1 here. You could flip-flop these probably, but I think since this is a multi-hit, it gives you more than this, since you don't have this down here to get the double hit to benefit from this. And then, so that's that. I'm using the quick tripod here on Finish Strike. These are normal. You can use Squall if you want, but I like having this for mobility as well. But typically, you want all of these skills to hit, because this is also how you get into form. Level 1 here, I only have this at level 4, but level 5 ideal, right? And then I have this level 4 too. I didn't get enough tripods. These are the tripods for overdrive, and then you're kind of forced into using the hold one as BT because of melt. You can't use the instant one because this is trash and you're not under 50. So, and this doesn't benefit this because you want to get the 5 ticks. Basically, when you're holding your Hellblade, this stacks up and then makes the explosion do more damage, right? You can't do that with this. You have to use this one. So that's all the tripods. I don't know if I mentioned already, LOS 30, but I actually have it. And so you can see, well, it doesn't show it here, but yeah. So, like I said, quick 5 skill rotation to get in. I open with this because there's a long as shit cooldown. Those don't really matter. And then, voila, you're in form. Yeah? And you can go and cooldowns reset, do your thing again. And that's why I like the quick tripod. You can fit all the skills there. If this had the other tripod, I wouldn't have been able to fit the bottom end of Bloody Rush there. And really, you could use those in any order. It doesn't really matter. I haven't gone really in depth to figuring out a long-winded rotation and to like what specific order you should use every ability at every time. Typically, I try to use the higher cooldowns first because they come off cooldown faster, right? So I would do it like this maybe, or the other way around. You know, you just want to try and fit as many skills in your Red Dust as you can. It doesn't matter which. It doesn't really matter which order to do DPS in. It doesn't matter as well. I don't want to say it doesn't matter. There is definitely an optimal way of doing it, but I haven't done enough testing to figure that out yet. Your cooldowns are just not going to be lined up, and it's going to depend on boss repositioning and boss moving and whatever. It's, when you use your Red Dust, just try to fit as many things as possible into it. So here would be the other way. Yeah, see, that fits just as well. I know a lot of people, they try to keep these two lined up, so you always have Red Dust and the Finish Strike. You can play like that as BT as well. I have a level 10 cooldown gem on my Red Dust and a level 7 cooldown on Finish Strike, so they don't always line up. I think it's nice having the higher cooldown on Red Dust because it lets you do more little combos, you know, as Red Dust comes off cooldown faster. than trying to line up with Finish Strike every single time. There's a lot of abilities you have that do, like, you have basically 4 abilities. These 4 right here that do a lot of damage as BT. So as long as you have one of them up into something else, like Red Dust is fine, right? It doesn't always have to be Finish Strike. So I guess quickly I'll just go into like a rotation and just kind of show that real quick. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I do have a cooldown on Tempest instead of a damage right now, just because the cooldown is so long. Like, as you can see with no quick prep, it's a 20-second cooldown. That's really long. Really, really long, right? So I'll just do a parse here and just kind of go through rotation, and I'll talk while I'm going through it a little bit. Like, I'll call out my mistakes, because I'm going to make mistakes. This is, like, my first time testing this out today, so I'm sure it'll improve over time, but you know, there's not too much room for error. But I will say the ceiling for BT is a lot higher than Mayhem right now. Mayhem, you could literally do a cast sequence macro and spam it the entire time. It doesn't change. With BT, there's a lot of variation in your damage. The cooldowns do not line up correctly, and it just definitely a lot harder to play than Mayhem is. So we'll do it out of form, starting out. My second rotation I like to throw in Awakening because, you know, off the second Red Dust, nothing really lines up with it because I dump everything. So that's when I'll throw in the first Awakening usually. But let's go ahead and do a little rotation. See, I could have saved my Tempest there, but see, this is kind of the awkward spot where nothing really lines up. And then you use your Awakening here. And you could fit this in too. And then you got your crit here. Probably hold Hellblade. And you got pretty nice combo coming up. Kind of got filler here. Save the crit for overdrive. And then here I probably hold. And this comes off cooldown pretty nicely. And then you want to hold these for when you drop form, so you can use them to get back into it. And we're kind of still waiting for overdrive, so we have like 10 seconds of downtime here. And we're back in form. And everything kind of lined up nicely there. But see that we're doing 10 million DPS over 2 minutes. That's really nice. But we have an awkward spot here where we can't really use anything. Probably could have waited an extra second there. So this is what I mean, like, with the skill gap. Could have waited an extra second there and fit that Bloody Rush into that Red Dust there. But it's really just about checking your cooldowns constantly. See what you have coming up. See what you have available to fit in your combos. And see, we're hitting that spot. I'm not going to use Tempest here because I want it off cooldown. Probably shouldn't use Overdrive here, but I feel like it's too much of a DPS loss not using it there. Hell, since you got so much time left on it, you could probably just use Hellblade here to get back in form. Even though it's not optimal, right? See, this is such... And it'll come back off cooldown anyways, and you just got an extra to do that here. Whoops. But yeah, it's a lot of thinking on your feet. Should I hit this now? Should I not hit this? Should I save it to get back into form? And that's kind of like what I like about it. Mayhem is so one-dimensional now. And this, it just feels funner to play, in my opinion. There's no consistent rotation. And it requires you to use your brain a little bit to take advantage of your 2 crit buffs. But see, we're staying over 9 mil DPS, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not even really, you know, super sweating it, optimizing anything. See there, I used Tempest Slash. Probably shouldn't have did that. You know, got to turn off the ape brain a little bit. So here I'd probably just use Hellblade to get back into form again, even though it's not the best option. Overdrive will reset. Probably finish it off with this. But yeah, you guys kind of get the gist, right? So this 4-minute parse over 9 mil. I do have Yearning simmed. So that's pretty good. That's pretty consistent. Mayhem wasn't hitting this, by the way. Actually, I could literally show you. We're only at 11 minutes, and I'm not editing this. So if you're curious, I will literally show you Mayhem Sim right now, how it compares to BT. Okay, now that I got the build fixed, because like for some reason all my tripods are level 1, because the DPS was like way off. Okay, let's see it again. Wow, didn't crit. Oh, boundless. That's what makes this really awkward. See, now they should be DPSing now, but DPS loss. I have 2 focus rings on. This costs mana? No. But you can see already, like the DPS compared to BT, it's just not there. Boundless, which ruins the rotation. So yeah, you need to have you gotta have food, and like I still have the max MP on here, and I'm still running out of mana, right? With 2 focus runes, so you gotta have to like the food too. It's one thing I don't like about the new Mayhem build is the mana issue. Like it's actually like I don't like it because of that. The damage is really consistent and does crank. The rotation's really smooth. That's 2 pros, right? Full rotation, and then you just do it again when it comes off cooldown. Everything lines up really well. But you need more mana regen. Because your mana doesn't regen fast enough. Boundless. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. Do you guys kind of get to see a comparison of the 2 there? But I prefer BT now. I think BT is way funner. If you're undecided, try out BT. I guarantee you'll like it more. If you want to turn your brain off, that's when you play Mayhem. So I'll probably be playing Mayhem a lot when I just don't feel like using my brain. or if I'm fried, I'll play Mayhem, but I'm definitely going to be playing BT otherwise. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.